Warning: the following visual novel contains subject matter that some viewers may find sensitive and perhaps even distressing. For example, this visual novel touches upon issues of xenophobia, anti-LGBT prejudice, toxic masculinity, abusive behaviour, and also sexual assault and the trauma that it inflicts upon its victims. This does mean that certain scenes within the game will likely make many players feel uncomfortable. If you have ever been a victim of xenophobia, anti-LGBT prejudice, abuse or violence, especially including of a sexual nature, then please be aware of this before you watch this playthrough. And please rest assured that the words and actions of certain characters within this visual novel should not be taken to reflect the views of either myself as a Let's Player or of the devs who made the game. For full disclosure, I am a supporter of LGBT rights. I am a supporter of challenging and tackling xenophobia and prejudice of any kind, and I am also well aware of the trauma suffered by victims of violence and abuse, and the need to therefore treat them with sympathy and support. The General Red Strategist channel is meant to be a safe space where people of all walks of life can come and enjoy my content. Thank you for listening to this. I just wanted to make this clear, as I felt that some of the issues touched upon in this visual novel could be shocking for some. Hey up viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome to Project Vostok Episode 1. This is a visual novel that's tagged as being sort of survival / psychological horror that I found on Steam, and it's going for free. You can download this, you don't have to pay a thing. So, you know me, I like playing visual novels from time to time. This one has an interesting premise to it. Sounds very different to any visual novel I've actually ever played before. So apparently the story is you are, well, sort of following a group of characters who you can sort of vaguely see there towards the bottom of the screen, who have survived a plane crash in some mountain somewhere when they come across apparently like an old Soviet base or a bunker or something. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Now, given that it's free, I'm going to assume it's probably not going to be very long. So I could probably do this, I don't know, maybe in one recording session and maybe just split the footage, if necessary, into multiple episodes. So let's just throw ourselves in and go. Start. I'm looking forward to this, because I don't know, oh god. Okay, that's a good way to start out. 11th, 2017. 11th of November, I guess. It said Fox on the front of the fridge as well there. Alright, so I'm kind of curious, are these characters going to be Russian? In which case, maybe I have to just sort of give it a bit of a Russian accent for some of these? I don't know. You know what I'm like with these visual novels, I always like to use silly voices. Bear, hang on. Is not an option going any further. Ciri's voice sounded confident this time, so Bear made his mind up to concede. Oh. You can see an explanation for the highlighted words by pressing G, or by using the glossary button in the text box. Well, G. Diminutive names. Russian names usually have multiple forms. A full name for official communication, one or more diminutives used informally. For example, the most common diminutive of Victor is Vitya, and for Elisaveta, it's Lisa. Some diminutives can have literal translations. For example, Seri, however that's pronounced, can be translated as grey. I apologise, of course, if I do butcher any pronunciations here. Okay, good to know. Diminutives, I see. I exhaled with relief. Okay, well, you know what? For actual character dialogue, I'll probably just do my Russian accent, but for this sort of text, which is sort of like internal thoughts, internal monologuing, I'll just talk normally. Bear is a great leader, but he sure gets carried away sometimes. He's the kind of person who hates to admit his wrongs. If not Seri, then perhaps Bear would have led us to certain death by now with his inability to step back. Funnily enough, death no longer seems to be something that only happens to others, but even now I don't regret joining the club, not for a single moment. I did, however, hesitate before. Alpinism was not my thing, I thought. It's rather something difficult and dangerous. In the end, though, the so-called fragile masculinity took over everything. It would always take its toll, making me want to prove myself worthy of being called a real man. Gave me lots of doubts. My insecurities took their roots from it, but at the same time it became a source of motivation. This never-ending struggle ran through my life like golden threads. Perhaps, rather I should say, it pierced my life like a spear of Mars. Quite poetic there, pro-tag. That's an interesting theme, though, the idea of fragile masculinity. Because, you know, I think that's a very topical theme at the moment. You know, that sometimes that that kind of perceived need, particularly, on the part of young men, to be seen as kind of, strong or to prove themselves. And it's like, you don't need to prove anything. You just be you. You don't need to prove yourself through fighting or losing your virginity or whatever at a young age. But that's what it kind of does. And yeah, it can cause problems. This is me, beating up a guy from my neighbourhood who was pulling my leg in front of others. This is me again, running away like a coward after seeing him bleeding. This is me, an ordinary boy at school, who pulls the pigtail of the girl he likes. She, of course, then complains to the teacher, asking her to seat her away from me. That's how I understood the absurdity of showing affection through violence. This is me, the bystander of bullying of a poor boy from another class. I'm not involved, I'm just trying to keep up with the rest. Yeah, I think that's another relatable experience that a lot of people have, either as kids or teenagers, when you're of that age where you find it difficult to kind of stand up, and of course you see someone else being kind of victimised, and there's a part of you that knows you should do something, but at the same time, you just don't have the confidence to actually do so. I think that's probably quite a relatable experience for a lot of people. And of course, a lot of people do ultimately go on to regret it for a good long period of their lives. This is me, talking trash about female classmates in a friend group conversation. Among those girls there is my first love, but I talk about her too, so as not to seem like a loser in love. However, I'm a loser who fell head over heels in love, so later I burn with shame thinking of what I said back there. This is me getting totally wasted at prom and waking up literally choking from my vomit in the morning and hating myself afterwards. Wow, I feel like we're getting some real character insight here straight away. This is me, an army newbie, passing through hazing rituals of the deads. I take a hit and play a tough guy. I'm not a coward, it doesn't hurt me. This is me. Now I'm dead myself and I'm bullying newbies. I'm not too harsh, but I still bully them, just because that's the way things are. Yeah, that's another sad thing. People kind of, using that excuse of that's just the way we do things, or that's just the way it is. Oh, boys will be boys, eh? Things like that. God, this got very serious very quickly, this did. It's me bringing a girl over to my place after a nightclub. She's not my type, but I'm still happy. I look at her and I can't wait for it. Not for sex, though, but for how I'll brag about it to my colleagues at work. What was I just saying about that whole thing? About young men? And, I say men, more like boys, I'll be honest. And that sort of pressure they sometimes feel from their peer groups about, doing it with a girl, losing your virginity and all that, and it's just like, dude, it's ridiculous. You just do you. Don't rush yourself into a sexual relationship. Take your time, find the right person and all that. Finally, this is me, sitting on my computer in a rented apartment. I have no hobbies, no friends and no girlfriend. I feel like I'm missing something in my life like never before. I don't want to curry favour with my boss, while at the same time talking shit about him when smoking in the break room. I don't want to mess with the girls that I don't like, because I realise that those whom I truly feel attracted to won't even look at me. I'm somehow captivated by the post that slipped into my feed, where there is a photo of my former fellow soldier that he took in the mountains. I do not believe in fate, omens or mystical coincidences, but the post found me exactly at the right time. I go to my friend's profile determined to find the group he followed, the Alpinists community. With great effort, I sign up for the first meeting. Showing up there, I started to realise that it was not only about mountaineering. I was quick to perceive that I had joined a fellowship. I know that each of these 6 men are always ready to have each other's back and support one another in hardship. The club doesn't accept everyone, but I was lucky. Unlike everyone there, I'm a bit timid, unathletic and somewhat soft. However, I was told that I was capable by the head of the club, a 2 metres tall man named Bear. His faith in me served as a motivation. I'm quitting smoking, starting to eat healthy, working out in the morning and attending the gym. After some time, I come to the climbing wall and I manage it with surprising ease. Then the first rock climbing in nature. I have trouble breathing, but Bear and the others train me on how to hold my breath, and I'm starting to get better. I can't wait to finally join the hike. However, they tell me I'm not ready yet. And then one day, I get a call from Bear. He invites me to conquer Kizil Tiger, and of course, I accept the invitation. We climb it in the group of 6. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Then the day I find myself standing at the top changes my entire life. My fragile masculinity is slowly stepping back. I no longer look for approval in that regard. My boss, the biggest asshole. He's no longer an authority for me. Those office rats do not get it. I'm not on their level. I'm conquering mountains. Sometimes I associate myself with John Locke from the series Lost. I and the guys from the club even had an idea to arrange a boar hunt. You know, Lost is a TV series that I've never watched, but I've heard so much about. Oh, hello. Okay, so you're Bear. We'll set up camp. We won't be able to use tents, so we'll dig a hole and jump into it with our sleeping bags. I may be falling back on a bit of a stereotype here, but okay. Seri and I nodded and got down to business. Okay, so we're not Seri. We're someone else. I was a little scared at first, but it was reassuring seeing others' confidence. I knew this wasn't the first time they had to survive a blizzard. I didn't expect that going up would be so abrupt and difficult. I was warned that peaking Beluka would not be an easy hike, but who would have expected a blizzard? The sun was shining here just a couple of hours ago. Yes, welcome to nature, the wilderness, protagonist, where the weather can change horribly fast. The main thing is not to... Oh wait, this is Bear. The main thing is not to fall asleep. If you start dozing off, try your best not to give in. I nodded back again and kept digging. You know, I was recently watching, watching a video on YouTube. Another fascinating horror episode. I think it was fascinating horror, if I remember correctly. It's about a dude, I think in like the 70s or the 80s in America, who basically went camping out in the Alaskan wilderness with minimal fucking preparation, and of course, as you imagine, he died. And his was like a cautionary tale of hubris and just the fact that if you're going to challenge nature, you better be fucking prepared, because nature is fucking scary. Ah, okay, you're Seri. Hey Fox, are you alright? After I joined the club, I got the nickname Fox, most definitely because of my red hair. Honestly, all these nicknames seem weird to me at first, but I got quite used to them over time. Now I even can't immediately recall the real name of Bear, which is Alexei. That's because his nickname fits him the most. Yeah, I'm okay, Seri, don't worry. He showed me the thumbs up and went back to digging the hole. After a while, Seri spoke again. Did you guys see that? Seri pointed at someone, and I saw a shape approaching us. Because of the bad visibility, I noticed a person walking towards us only when he was close enough. You know, so far I'm quite impressed. Music's very atmospheric. I like the visuals, they seem good enough so far. The character sprites as well look good. Who is it? There's no way there was another group along with ours that might have gone into the blizzard. Finally, I saw what it was. A middle-aged man dressed very lightly. Besides the clothes, there was something else that seemed strange to me about him, but I didn't understand what it was yet. Oh, what the... Well, you're definitely dressed a bit strangely. To be out in the middle of a freaking blizzard. Alright, you're not human. You're either some kind of demon, or a mutant, or an alien, God knows what. I have no idea. Do svidania. Well, you know, Russian. We're going full Russian. Good day to you. Are you lost too? Bear, as a leader, started a conversation with the stranger. No, I can't get lost in this area. We gazed at each other. This man looked weird and spoke in a strange manner too, so I started to think that I could be hallucinating. So who are you? Rio. A foreigner? No, I am local here. How curious. Are you from the base or the bunker or whatever? Also, I like the little subtle expression changes on the sprites from time to time. Bear was silent, not knowing what to say, and Seri decided to step in. I'm Seri. My companions are Bear and Fox. Do you need our help? We have a spare sleeping bag. No, I'm fine. I'm here to help you myself. Oh, okay. So when's the plane crash going to come into this? That's the question. How? I can lead you to a cave where you could wait out this blizzard. I know it's going to be very confusing, the fact they're all speaking with that same Russian voice, but... Can't be walking too far in this weather. It's not far, comrade. 6 minutes from here. I just added that, because why the hell not? Sorry, Russian stereotypes. Seri looked at Bear, waiting for him to make a decision. Bear was silent for a moment. It seemed like I saw him confused for the first time. Finally, he regained his usual confidence. Are you sure the cave is nearby and you can find our way to it? I'm sure. Then let's go. Let's divide into groups. Fox and I will follow you two. We started moving. After about 6 minutes we hit the cave, as it was expected. Of course, the blizzard raged inside it as well, but it's going to be much easier to wait out here. Nice place. Bear is very stingy with praise and thanks, so Seri spoke for him again. Thanks to Rio, you really helped us. I'm glad. Rio certainly strikes someone as a foreigner with his short sentences and such an uncommon name. However, for some reason he claimed that he was local, whatever that meant. Do you live in some village nearby? Bear answered Seri right away. Impossible, there is no village anywhere near. Rio confirmed his words. True, it takes a long while to get to the nearest village. Then what did you mean by local? Where do you live? Down there. Down in the cave? Seri and Bear looked at each other again, completely confused. Down there? Yes. Rio didn't seem to understand that Seri wasn't waiting for confirmation, rather for some details. And what's down there? Bunker and laboratory, secret ones. So, Rio works in a secret laboratory in the mountains, and seeing us nearby he decided to give a hand? The answer could be logical, but it was hard to believe that there might be a laboratory on Beluka. And what do you guys do there? Create nuclear weapons? Bear didn't seem like he bought the story. No, I can't tell you, my apologies. Alright guys, let's get ready to make camp here. Rio paused for a second as if he was in doubt. I'll check if anyone is there. If not, you can go down to the bunker. It's warmer. Seri and Bear's eyes lit up with curiosity. I also wanted to see the secret object myself, but more than that, I just wanted to stay the night in a warm place. So, like my fellows, I got behind Rio's idea. Do we trust this guy? I don't know. Wait here, please. With that said, Rio walked to the edge and jumped down. We got close to the edge and saw a cliff about 3 meters high. That was slick. Rio's bounce was so natural and easy that Bear himself was left quite impressed by it. Wait there. After repeating his instructions one more time, Rio vanished into the darkness. Guys, are you sure... Oh yeah, this is me, isn't it? Guys, are you sure this isn't a dream? I don't think so. What if we knocked out in the snow and now we're seeing things? Hit me. I stood up conflicted, not knowing how to hit Bear. Sirius quickly picked up on my confusion and came to the rescue, hitting Bear hard on the shoulder. Bear didn't move an inch, but only rubbed his shoulder thoughtfully. So it's not a dream, huh? Did you see what he was wearing? Yeah, he's got a screw loose, that's probably why he doesn't dress for the weather. I don't know. He didn't seem to be cold, but you might be right about him. He acts peculiar and talks weird too. Did you see his hair and eyes? He has very fair hair, but not similar to Seri's. Da, and his eyes were purple. Must be an albino. How did I not know it? Of course, Rio was an albino. It's unusual, but not as near as a secret laboratory on Beluka. Do you think this bunker even exists? God knows, at least there is a tunnel in this cave that must be leading somewhere. It ran through my head. What if nothing good awaits us there? What if they kill us or experiment on our bodies? I tried my best to hide my fear. It would be too cowardly. Nevertheless, the blizzard seemed far more dangerous than any bunker that might or might not be real. We just sat some time and talked about stuff. It was getting clear that Rio would not come back, so we got our sleeping bags out. Nope, never mind. He showed up right at that moment. Let's go. Rio was a man of few words. His phrases were peculiar, but he spoke clearly with no accent. It was all very unusual. Alright, so not a Russian accent then. I should change his voice to maybe just like default English, I don't know, neutral English accent or something. I mean, they probably mean like no specific Russian accent, anything like that, but you know, I don't know anything about sort of like Russian regional dialects or anything like that. We put our sleeping bags in and followed him. Bear went first. He walked to the edge and jumped off after Rio. He didn't manage to land so softly, he got to his feet mumbling and cursing. Seri went after him. He appeared more cautious and didn't jump right away. Instead, he carefully touched the ledge with his foot and deftly went down the wall. Sometimes Seri was so vigorous and moved so gracefully that it was hard to believe that he would soon hit his 60s. I quickly adopted his technique. Interesting though. One of our characters is actually probably, well, I'm guessing in his 50s then, if he's nearing his 60s. It's interesting because obviously in a lot of these visual novels the characters are always very youthful. You very rarely see like older characters, you know, because like the majority of the visual novels I've ever played for are always like set in high schools and things like that. Come here. Rio walked to the tunnel and we rushed after him. Soon the tunnel turned into a hall, and finally Rio stopped and set the light with a flick of the switch. Ooh. Well, this doesn't give you bad vibes at all, does it now? We looked around surprised, not believing our eyes that we really ended up in an underground bunker. I felt like we were in some kind of post-apocalyptic movie. Warning, please pay attention. Externals are not allowed to be here. You need to be undetected. Oh. Well, that's not a good sign. You can spend the night here, but you must leave immediately when the blizzard ends tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll give him sort of like a kind of posh English accent, something like that, to give him that sort of aloofness, to make him a bit more mysterious. There are 3 doors in here. On the left there is a large room, not in use. You will spend the night in it. On the right, a smaller room, used as a storage area. There is some food in there. You can eat right now, but go straight to the large room afterward. Behind the 3rd door, there is the rest of the hall. There is a toilet. You can go there, but I have to escort you there. Then I'll close the door. Did you understand? Rio had a peculiar language, using uncommon words like an external, but we all got what he was saying. Thanks, man. Motherland won't forget you. Oh, shit, I could press G then, couldn't I? Hang on, wait. Is this the glossary? Yes, it is. Okay, M. Can I... Oh, right, M, it's already highlighted. Russian phrase used in a funny or ironic way to praise somebody. May also be used as a mockery of the ideological cliches of the Soviet era. Okay, sure. Bear patted Rio on the shoulder as a friendly gesture, but he trembled with fear. Bear probably terrifies him a little like he did terrify me when I first met him. But please, it's not for the motherland, I just wanted to help out. Rio is full of surprises. Doesn't he get such common expressions? Let's go eat something, shall we? I'm kind of curious what they eat in secret bunkers these days. Here's the mess room. Dinner was amazing. Local canned food was unexpectedly tasty, and the bunker room was quite surprisingly rather cosy. We also shared with Rio the food that we had in our bags, and he had a taste with great pleasure. He particularly enjoyed the smoked sausage, so Seri gave away the remaining half. Here, take it. It must be hard for you to live here in bunker with no fresh meat. After we've had dinner, we went to the toilet turn by turn. I went first, and when I came back, I went straight to the room. Then I took out a sleeping bag and passed out right after I got into it. Who? Didn't have much luck in getting a nice sleep, though. I'm kind of worried about what's going to happen to these characters. Because the thing is, I could have sworn on the download page, Steam, it said the main characters are actually survivors of a plane crash. So I have this horrible sort of sense that this could be like the prologue, where it showcases a bunch of characters who went into the bunker first and something happens to us, and then later on it'll get to the plane crash, and somewhere later down the story the plane crash survivors will find our bodies or something. Okay, let me just have a sip of water. Still pretty warm here in the UK at the moment. It's not quite as warm as it was, fortunately, but it's still pretty warm. Didn't have much luck in getting sleep. I woke up from someone shaking me in my shoulders. Shaking me by the shoulders, I should probably say, but never mind. Oh. I opened my eyes. It was pitch dark. I barely recognised Rio's face. What the fuck do you want? I guess that was too rude, but I truly hate being woken up in the middle of the night, especially in this way. We have problems. It's serious. Rio looked very brittle. My anger was slowly being replaced with anxiety. Calm down, okay? What happened? Rio took a deep breath and was barely able to cool down. Your friends got up at night. I don't know why. Maybe they couldn't sleep. They went to the warehouse. They sat there. They talked. I was sleeping, but I heard them. I didn't want to disturb them. And I fell asleep. I woke up because I heard my sister's voice. Does your sister live here? Does your whole family work here too? Yes, you could say that, but it doesn't matter. What do you mean you could say that? That makes it sound like it's not quite like that. Then what does? That they were with her in the room. I felt calmer. I guess I know what's going on. Were you worried about your sister? Look, there is no need to. I know my friends aren't necessarily very courteous. Bear is a scary-looking guy himself, but they wouldn't hurt a fly. They wouldn't have done anything to your... You don't understand? No. He's not worried about Bear and Seri doing something to his sister, is he? He's worried about the sister doing something to them. Oh god, is that where it's going? I like how the music came in at that moment. So far, this is actually quite interesting. I like where it's going. Or where I think it's going, anyway. Not them. She. Yeah. To them. I'm actually having to click to get those extra lines of dialogue. I stared at Rio, trying to understand what he meant by saying that. Is this some kind of prank? What is a prank? You're kidding me? If this is some stupid joke, then I don't find it funny at all. I understand that you helped us out with a lot with this bunker. I appreciate that. I don't get it, though. Why would you wake me up like this in the middle of the night to tell me that? How on earth 2 grown-ass men can be in danger being left alone in the room with some girl? I'm not kidding, you don't know my sister. The look in Rio's eyes fully confirmed what he was saying. He wasn't joking. I could see the fear on his face. Either this guy's crazy, or Seri and Bear really are in danger. Actually, one didn't rule out the other. I I remember my hunches about mad scientists doing creepy experiments here. So what are we waiting for? Let's go rescue them. No, it's too late. I heard screams a little earlier and then silence. We can only save you now. Let's go to the exit before anybody... Rio kept saying something, but I wasn't listening to him anymore. I grabbed an ice axe from my backpack as I ran into the hall. The first thing I saw? A puddle of blood, apparently leaking out between the door and the floor. I just realised that fucking scene with the refrigerator at the very beginning, it said Fox on it. We're dead. Our character's straight up fucking dead. We're gonna die. At first I doubted the real level of the threat and hoped for the best, but now I fully realised how fucked up this is. I tried to open the door, but it didn't budge, and I started slamming it. Open up! If you did something to my friends, I'll kill you! I don't care who you are, I'll kill you all! For some reason I wasn't afraid. I was ready to fight anyone. There was one thing in my head. If Bear and Seri are alive, then I must save them. If not, I shall take revenge. What are you doing? Shut up, stop yelling. They will hear us, they'll kill you, maybe me too. I don't care. There is no luck breaking the door by hand, so I started hitting it with my ice pick. They've been murdered, do you understand? They can't be saved. That's it. Go. Escape. Enough! Enough! Rio kept screaming, but I ignored him in attempts to open the door. Suddenly, I heard another voice. Oh... Professor, who's this? Is this the sister, or is this someone else? What should the voice be for this one? I feel like this is too serious a moment to do something comical. Maybe I'll just talk normally. Hands up and turn your backs on me, boys. Oh, okay. An old man. Right. Should I do an old man voice? Oh, turn your backs on me, boys. I saw an old man in the darkness. When I looked towards the voice, he had a gun in his hands. Oh, you deaf or something, turn your back on me. Rio complied with his words. Oh. Is that us? That's Fox, I guess. I did too, after a bit of thinking. If I refuse to do it, he will shoot me right now. I won't save anyone, and I won't take my revenge. Hands up now. You, redhead, drop the ice pick first, and raise your hands, slowly. I dropped the ice pick to the ground reluctantly, trying to keep it in sight. Also, I like the fact that our protagonist here does actually have a sprite. Number 11, what did I tell you about the guests? Wasn't last time enough for you? Professor, don't call me that, please. I asked. I asked things from you a lot too, number 11. You never listened to me. Professor, this is the last time. They didn't see much. They would have left in the morning. Now what's that pool of blood on the floor, That's number 13. She messed up again as usual. I'll talk to her personally, but you're the one to blame in the first place. Was not clear about the no guests rule. This won't happen again. I apologise. Let him go. Please. Are you dumb? I don't understand. How can I let him go after he's seen everything? He won't tell anyone, right, Fox? From the voice of the old man, I knew that he was not going to let me go. Running away from here wasn't part of my plan, but I still decided to play along with Rio. Duh, I swear not to tell anyone. The professor burst into laughter. Am I supposed to trust you? I never trust bastards like you. The next thing I know, you're running to report stuff to the militia and the media. Militia. Name of the police forces in the Soviet Union. In 2010, Russian authorities changed the name from militia to police. Okay, so, alright, clue from that is that this professor has been here a long time. And is he not therefore aware of the fact that it's not the militia anymore? Interesting. While he was speaking, I was able to estimate the distance between us. It would take one successful jump to defeat him. I don't know if it's going to be successful, given the scene we saw at the very start with that refrigerator unit or whatever it was. It's most likely that he will shoot, but if I have any luck, I may have the momentum to grab the gun earlier. I may not be able to grab my ice axe, but this shouldn't be a problem. Even though the professor doesn't seem too old, he has no chance in hand-to-hand combat with me. After a bit of thinking, I turned around and jumped. The first thing I saw when I turned around was the confusion in the face of the professor. Then I focused my eyes on the gun, and later I realised why he was confused. His fingers were off the trigger. He was bluffing. That meant I had every chance of success. However, I failed the mission because someone grabbed me by the collar of my jacket in my jump. The confusion was replaced by a smile on the old man's face. Well done, Rio. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did we just get fucking betrayed? He returned his finger to the trigger and pulled it in no time. And that's how Fox died, is it? Nice graphic though. Achievement unlocked 3 years ago. Chapter 1. Hello, hello. So hang on, what's this? 26th of December 2021 now. Okay, it says Nick on the thing. Okay, so I think that scene is just like a transition. I gave up trying to escape a long time ago. Now that my hands hurt that I can't, so much that I can't bend my fingers, I should probably say, I stand no chance of lifting the plane split. Ah, here we go. This is the plane crash, which was pressing me down. Should have lifted it right when it crushed me, but it was heavy. Screaming is probably pointless too when you're surrounded by nothing but the mountains and snow. What was even worse was that the woman next to me died because the aircraft wreckage crashed into her. As a result, I was lying 20 centimetres away from the corpse. I didn't care about her at first. My indifference was even shocking to me, but then it might have just been the adrenaline rush that kept me distracted. I knew that because, after some time, reality hit me like tons of bricks. I tried not to look, but I still unwittingly glanced at her direction from time to time. It helped her toss a suitcase into the overhead locker on the plane. Oh, I helped her, sorry, before taking my seat. I remember her face. It was a woman about 50 years of age. It's hard to tell now after the piece of splinter pierced her head and her whole face was covered in brown, dry blood. Check up some, whatever that means. I got off much easier. Didn't get any serious injuries. Yet, I'm no longer sure about the latter. First I didn't feel any pain at all, but my arm began to bother me. I'm probably running low on the body's natural painkillers. My mental state seemed to be deteriorating. The first couple of minutes I was upset that I won't be able to get home for Kasusha's birthday because of all this bullshit. Now I just hope that someone will find me. I'm sure they've already sent a team of helicopter rescuers to find us, or whoever they send in such accidents. The problem is that by the time they find me I will have frozen to death. I've almost missed my plane. My mum called to make sure I didn't oversleep. I did, of course. I got ready at the speed of light and made it 5 minutes before the end of the registration. Perhaps if my mum trusted me and wouldn't call me to remind me of my flight, I would have avoided this whole situation. I would somehow manage to get money from my dad for the new tickets and get on a night flight. I've been wondering what my parents might be doing at the moment. I can only imagine how bad they might be feeling right now. Father most likely didn't have time to come to the airport himself as always and sent a driver. Either way, I didn't care much to take offence at this. First and foremost because my father's driver uncle, Zhenya, was an expert in two matters, football and corny jokes. Both of these matters were rather dear to me, so I'd always enjoy the ride home with him. My mum always calls my dad or Uncle Zhenya about 15 minutes after landing to make sure everything's okay. Moreover, she tracks the landing time on the airport's website, so when I get the call I'm already sitting in the car, given that I fly light and don't wait for luggage. I wonder what it says on the airport website right now. Flight has been delayed, flight arrival time unknown, or maybe the flight you're interested in had crashed in some wasteland. Passengers are either dead or about to die lying under aircraft wreckage. We're sorry for such inconvenience. When I said the words sorry for an inconvenience in my mind, I shuddered. Heard something similar by the pilot before we crashed. Probably get flashbacks of this phrase for the rest of my life now. I just heard some sounds, did I? Is anyone alive here? I could hear what they were saying, but I failed to shout back. I made some inarticulate wheezing. Because of the splinter, my movements were limited, so I couldn't even turn my head towards the sound. Guess there's no one. Hey, what do you mean, no one? How about you come and see? They might just be lying unconscious. Let's get closer. I like that guy more. Come and help me lift this piece of iron. Let me just take another sip of water. They tried to move the wreckage. There's no way we can lift it. What the fuck did you want? 46 tons, I almost added, but held back. So instead of quoting the punchline of Uncle Zhenya's favourite joke about a proportionik, I mumbled something like, help, I'm cold. Proportionik, what's that? Rank used by the Russian army forces, it's usually an equivalent for Sergeant Major in English-speaking countries. Proportionik is a popular character in Russian jokes. For example, Proportionik demonstrates a new tank to the soldiers. Here's our new tank. Ivanov, try to lift it. Ivanov tries and fails. Petrov, help him out. Soldiers still fail to lift the tank. Sidorov, join them. They try all together and fail again. There is no way we can lift it, comrade Proporshik. What the fuck did you expect? Proporshik responds. 46 tons. I should say tons, not tones. Yeah, well, you know, I'm guessing the devs of this obviously are not native English speakers, so we understand what they're trying to say. That sounded pathetic, but I was freezing. Mark, there's a survivor. Yeah, I heard him. Are you hurt very badly? I don't think so. Good, we need to get some help. We can't lift it. I think Nick is our character from the transition screen before. Let's try another time. We might be able to pick it up, but we can drop it. We better not risk it. I'll maybe think about giving these characters some slightly more unique voices in a second once we actually see some sprites, but and get a more, sense of their characters. Okay, you're right. Let's go then. Is it far from here? Not really. Why? Didn't feel like waiting for a long time, obviously. Not the biggest fan of waiting at all. Not to mention waiting for another couple of hours in the company of a dead woman. No, nothing. No worries, man. We'll be right back. Hang on, okay? How about I stay here with him and you go get anyone real quick? Sounds like a plan. Apparently the guy named Mark heard my thoughts. You remember the trail, right? I got this. Mark sat next to me. I couldn't see his face from under the debris, only his feet. Is he coming soon? Yeah, it's about a 7-minute walk from here to the main part of the plane. Good. What's your name? Nick. Is that your full name? No, full is Nikolai. Obviously they're still Russian. Maybe I'll just keep with the Russian accent then. No, full is Nikolai. I see, I'm Mark. Yeah, I heard it. Are you a lifeguard? No, a passenger. Rescuers haven't arrived yet. We're trying to help out those who are hurt. Got it. It's good that some didn't get hurt, but it's still a pity you're not the lifeguard. Yeah, I know. Who's next to you? Woman, she's dead. I see. We stood silent for a moment. How many survivors are there? I don't know yet. Most of those who were on the back section of the plane survived. Almost everyone died on the front section. You're the first one alive among them. Duh, lucky. We got silent again. They're coming. Then I heard male voices. Come on, we shall lift it from all the edges. Can you come out if we pick it up? We can't be holding it for long. I think so. My legs are okay. That's good. On the count of 3, guys. 1, 2... Wait, I need to hold on to it again. Let's start over. 1, 2, 3. They lifted the splinter high enough. I hurried to crawl out. It was not so easy. My legs were almost numb and frozen, though I didn't get injured in the accident. As soon as I crawled away, one of them ordered me to let go. Ben managed to get up and tried to shake out the snow off my collar. I almost lost my balance at some point, but a fair-haired guy, who I don't know the name of, helped me to stand on my feet. Okay? Thank you. No worries. Hold on for now, don't move too quickly. I felt a little better after some time. At least my legs would start to obey me again. Well, damn, son. Who is this, fucking Keanu Reeves' brother? Who is this? Check this out. I feel like I should give him a real sort of, like, I don't know. I was kind of thinking like my surfer dude kind of voice. And what about the woman? Shall we get her as well? Or something like that. That kind of voice. I don't know. So he's first man, right? So third man is dude in suit with tie. I guess we should. We piled the rest of the bodies next to the plane. Oh, this is Mark, is it? Okay. We can't get her. Whoa, man, we can. With the boy it was harder because we had to keep him undamaged. Let's just drag it away then. You guys pick it up and I'll pull the body out. Can you do it? Yeah, it's fine. Well, let's do it then. Ready? Oh, hello. Who's this guy? Fourth man, yeah. And you? Ready? 1, 2, 3. The body was heavier than I thought, but it was easier to pull it on the snow, so I did. 2 when seeing the corpse, I should say 2 of them rather, while the other 2 looked indifferent. 2 types of people in the minibus, the emotional ones and the insensitive half. Is that another Russian saying? Oh, a meme originating from a story posted in a Russian social media. Today in a minibus, a 4-year-old girl asked her mom, if we all ask God, will he turn off the wars? Half of the people in the minibus cried, God, please turn off the wars. Okay. So the other half of the people were just like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Vitya, grab the legs, let's go. Okay, who's Vitya? Which one? Is it friggin' rocker dude over here? Or is it big dude in tracksuit? Maybe we'll leave it for now. Third man is obviously this guy. Why? He says, we have better things to do right now. We'll be back later to check the carry-on luggage so we can do it then. All agreed with what Vitya offered. If we're going back, we need someone to remember the way back to this place. Another way. Okay, let's get going then. Maybe we can get to know each other first. What's your name? I'm Nikolai. Call me Nick. I'm Andre, this is Vitya, and this is Vadim. Mark has introduced himself, probably. Okay, so, right. Okay, so, dude on the left, Andre. Mark has already introduced himself, obviously he's there. I don't know which one is Vitya and which one is Vadim? Obviously it's the other 2, this guy and the rocker dude, but which one's which? It'll probably say, actually, next time he pops up with a line. Yes, we had a chat. Lovely to meet you. Okay, right. So you're Vadim. Okay. God, should I just keep with the Russian accent, or should I try for something at least a little different? I don't know. Men don't say lovely to meet you to each other. That's for chicks. He looks like quite a sort of a tough guy, so maybe, you know, I'll do the Russian accent but put a bit more emphasis on it. God. What do they say then? Nice to meet you is okay. Well, live and learn then. Yeah, I'll just do like a slightly softer Russian accent for Mark and for Nick. After this etiquette lesson, we moved towards the plane base. During this time, I managed to observe my fellow sufferers. There's nothing exceptional about Mark and Andre's appearances, except for the difference in height that caught my eyes while they were walking along together. Their personalities also seem dissimilar to me. Mark looks thoughtful and silent. Andre seems super sociable and friendly. Maybe I'll give Andre a particular accent even. You know what, Andre is also a French name, so maybe I'll give him just a little bit of a French accent just to differentiate him a little bit from the others. Well, when he next speaks, that is. Vitya and Vadim, on the other hand, look pretty colourful. The first one looked either like a Kurt Cobain with tan skin, or Jesus who joined the bike club. That's a good way of putting it. Also, Vitya was so hot that he wouldn't even bother to find a long-sleeve shirt before walking around in this frost. Vadim looked like he was an athlete, rather a very stereotypical one. Ripped body and pumped up muscles, tracksuit, the stupid expression on his face, wow. Nice. And of course his chic way of picking on my words, make him look like a typical country gopnik. That must be another like Russian... Well, I wonder, is a gopnik going to be like the Russian equivalent of a redneck or something? It sure would be interesting to know what kind of sport he plays. I bet it's wrestling. Let's have a look. Gopnik is a member of a delinquent subculture in former Soviet republics. A young man of working class background who usually lives in Russian suburban areas and comes from a family of poor education and income. Okay, not quite what I was guessing, but yeah, I see it. On the way back, Andre, Vitya and Vadim were talking about further actions. Mark was mostly quiet. After a while, he turned to me. This is like friggin' the opening of a Danganronpa game, this. Where you meet everyone for the first time, and you're starting to like get a handle on people's personalities. Because I feel like we've had some very colourful personalities so far. Obviously Vitya and Vadim being the latest ones. It looks like your hand is bleeding. Did you get hurt badly? No, it's just a scratch. I don't know what accent that was. Anyway, have Lisa look it over. French accent. A sure thing. And who is Lisa? A doctor? Almost. A medical student, looking to have a doctor among us, at least a novice one. She volunteered to help the wounded before the rescuers arrive. Yeah, I'll try not to go too overboard with the French accent. Because you know what I'm like. Sometimes when I do my French accent, I get carried away and I just make it really stupid. Suddenly I've got an idea. Have you tried to call? Does connection work here? We did, right after the accident. There is no service, but you can try it yourself. Maybe you'll get lucky with your operator. Ah. Also, that snake that you see on the phone screen, friggin', that's also the logo at the start when you load up the game, the company logo. I took the phone out of my jacket pocket. The screen cracked, but it worked. Mobile connection was down. No service. Well, worth a try. Better turn it off for now. We'll be trying to get the connection, so save up the battery. I took Mark's advice. Ah, there's the plane. There, the plane! We reached the makeshift camp. We walked for exactly 7 minutes, just like Mark said. However, due to snow and cold, 1 minute of the walk was 2 or 3 times more tiring than it would be in fair weather. Yeah, I imagine it probably was. I went into the plane, or to what's left of it to be more precise, and looked around. There are not so many people here. There are 9 survivors, including you. 3 of them are injured. Those who are intact are now looking out for others, everyone except Lisa. Hello, is this Lisa? Hearing her name, the girl turned around. Lisa turned out to be a young blonde, probably in her early 20s. Oh god, what voice do we want to give you? I mean, I'll talk normally for the moment, but if we get more of a read on her personality, maybe I'll get a specific voice that I can give her. You found another one from the front? He's the only one who got lucky so far. The person next to him died, and he only got some scratches. That's going Russian again, but will you check him just in case? Yes, sure. One moment. Have a seat. I sat on a chair. It was cold, but compared to lying on the snow, it was much more pleasant. I need help from one, or better yet, two. Mark, Vitya, maybe you'll help him out. Vadim and I will walk a little more and look for someone else. No problem. I sat still for about 10 minutes. I began to feel drowsy since I was getting more comfortable and it felt safer and warmer inside the plane. Oh, did you doze off? I closed my eyes, both because I was tired and I didn't want to look at the corpses of dead people laid in front of the plane, as well as the wounded ones lying on a pile of rags in the back of the plane. However, closing my eyes would not help much. I could hear groans from time to time. Also, apologies if you hear like a humming noise in the background when we have silent moments in the game like this. It's just I've got my fan going because, you know, it is quite warm. Just looking out my window right now, the clouds are getting very grey. I have a feeling it's going to, I don't know, rain at some point maybe. I hope it does, just to dissipate some of the heat. A few minutes later I heard Lisa's voice. Guys, now I'll need your help with the wounded. We need to organise all the medicines we have, and the wounded need drinking water too. I'm trying to think of what would be a good voice for her. I'm not sure. I don't want to do something comical or a bit too absurd, just because, you know, I don't think it would fit the moment. Everyone needs water. We're in the mountains, luckily, not in the desert. We have snow. Maybe I'll just give her a random voice. I know they're all Russian characters, but maybe I'll just give her a voice from a different nationality. Maybe like Australian or something. Yeah, but you can't just take it and drink it. You can get frostbite. And again, I'll try not to like overdo it. I suggest setting fire to melt it down. Someone help me. The rest of us can work on warming up the aircraft. Z? What, you going German now? I can help with the fire. Lisa looked in my direction. She seemed to have forgotten about my existence while she was busy with the wounded. I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Lisa. What's your name? Nick. Nice to meet you, Nick. How old are you? 15. Oh, wow, okay. Nick is a lot younger than I thought. I thought he was an adult. 15. And you? My counter question seemed to have taken her by surprise for some reason. I'm 23. Okay, bit too old for you, Nick. Sorry. Why was that the first place my thoughts went to? Let me examine you, okay? What's bothering you? I'm fine, actually. Don't act like a hero. This is not the right time now. Make sure to tell me if something hurts. I think I hurt my left arm with a splinter, but it's nothing. G'day, okay, Struth, mate, your sleeve is all in blood. Let me see. Sometimes when I do the Australian accent, you know, if you've watched any of my other visual novels, like the more comical ones, such as Panzer Martels or Danganronpa 2, sometimes when I do the Australian accent, there are times where I have to predicate the lines with "g'day" or something like that in order just to get the accent. She touched my arm in several places. I didn't feel anything at all at first, but then I flinched with unexpected pain from another touch. Does it hurt badly? It's bearable. You're okay. It won't be bearable if it was a fracture or a dislocation. Now I need you to take off your jacket and roll up your sleeve. I almost regretted telling her about my micro-trauma. My hand has stopped bothering me, but still I obeyed her orders reluctantly. The checkup didn't last long. You're alright, the wound is shallow. It'll be nice to treat it. We'll do it right away after we find my first aid kit. So you've got to be like a doctor or a medic or something, I'm guessing. What could that be? It was in my suitcase, which was in the luggage section, and I don't know where it is now. I nodded. Please reach me out if you have any complaints, okay? It won't be easy for me without a first aid kit, but I'll do my best. Agreed. After thanking Lisa for the trek-up, I joined Mark and Vitya in search of branches for the fire. We had a lot of work to do. Let's explore back before we head on. I need something to open it. No doubt there's going to be an object around somewhere. And this is where I came in from. Oh joy. Well, whatever the monster is out here is already being a bit of a bitch, isn't it? Sorry, you have subtitles for that? Oh, we need to insert key. Oh, it needs 2 keys. Or maybe you can use the same key? No, can we pick that up again, or... I'm guessing we need to find another key. Right.
votre l'outil.
There's a note in there. Hello? Right, hold on. Maybe we have to go down then.